It is a general belief that we have a God up in heaven who oversees the affairs of men here on earth. While on earth, fathers play the coordinating roles as the head of households, which ultimately makes up the communities, towns, state, and also the nation. But when you have a combination of God and a father in a human being, then something definitely is up for the takers. Now, welcome to Democracy Now!, a platform where we x-ray the actions, the tenets, the dividends and whatnot of democracy, the most preferred form of governance in Nigeria today. I am Charles Ibe, and on this edition we will be looking at the phenomenon of Godfatherism in Nigerian politics, pitting it against mentorship in an ideal situation. Nigerians will also be weighing on the concept of Godfatherism, and we will be able to establish if it is actually helping or destroying the tenets of democracy in Nigeria today. Lots more are loading on the program, and you can have it all if you stick around. Join us again in a moment. Thanks for staying tuned. And a quick reminder that you can join this conversation and share your thoughts on the matters that matter on this program. All you have to do is go to the comment section and air your views. Click on the like and subscribe buttons, and as a matter of importance, share the good news with your friends and foes alike on your network. Easy, isn't it? Now, when it comes to political settings on the African democracy, the term Godfather has evolved over time and has become a defining word among the elites and an awe-inspiring factor among the electorate. In Africa and other developing countries like Nigeria, Godfatherism has become the central point of political vandalism. This is as a result of over-concentration of authority and capital of politicians for the control of structures and organizations by the political class in the nation. Now, the politics of Godfatherism and regionalism has featured prominently in the political history of independent Nigeria, while the struggle and the resultant values have impacted significantly on the society in various ways. Now, who indeed is a Godfather? And what is he supposed to represent in the political settings? Let's take a look at this special report and join us afterwards. In contemporary democracy, politics of Godfatherism has become a universal issue in the political development of many countries, Nigeria inclusive. The politics of Godfatherism has entered every nook and cranny of the nation and has affected the political structure of the country. Stemming from the elitist theory as advocated by Vilfredo Pareto in 1935, elites are replaced by another group of elites, meaning that the majority are unavoidably governed by the minority, a situation which ultimately gives rise to the phenomenon of Godfatherism in political settings.
The word Godfather is borrowed from the mafioso concept that came up in Sicily, Italy. And it is a concept that respects hierarchy. Hierarchy cannot go wrong. Therefore, hierarchy is shared, is respected. Any attempt to go against hierarchy becomes very, very dangerous.
The politics of Godfatherism has a negative impact on the socio-economic and political development of the nation by confining power in the hands of the few elites at the expense of the masses. This has affected the socio-economic and political development of the nation and by extension led to inter-party and intra-party defections, decamping and conflicts among party members. Godfathers in some nations are inspired by their resolution to regulate public policies in favor of their concerns. The godfathers in Nigerian politics are primarily concerned with appropriation of government contracts, political and public appointments, and plundering the coffers of the state while using their advantaged positions to decide the political confidence of candidates to political offices.
We need to trace this new culture that has become godfather, that has destroyed the fabric of our political ideology, to the incursion of the military into politics. The military did not leave the political scene willingly. It was as a result of critical engagement from critical stakeholders. We can still remember Sikh Nadeko and the pariah status of Nigeria at that time that has forced the hand of the military government to relinquish power. However, as strategic as they were, they leave power, but the statement of Babangida comes to mind that he was stepping aside. They only step aside. Okay. And by stepping aside, they have their eyes in the big apple to still control the whims and caprices of our political expeditions from the sideline. And therefore, the ideology of Godfather begins to move into our political lexicon.
Godfatherism is the problem we are facing today, that Nigeria today has been rated as one of the country with high rate of poverty. Because one single individual wants to divert the whole resources that is meant for the people.
In 1999, we all knew how the great Obasanjo was made the president from the prison. And subsequently, it has become a trajectory of our political engagement. And it continued to metamorphosize with various styles, with various techniques. And we find ourselves in a situation whereby before you become somebody politically, you have to align yourself to a man who probably may not have won an election, but probably has a lot of war chest, as we call it, a lot of resources to spend.
In this flawed arrangement, those that are not only seen but confirmed to be loyal to the godfathers cannot be given tickets to be the flag bearer of the political parties, so as to ensure that the godsons will be answerable to them when they are elected into power. The godson oftentimes becomes a stooge of the godfather, while the failure of the godson to meet the demands of the godfather is often punished with impeachment or denial of re-election.
Government in the center, they are always interested in one election or the other. Take for instance, the governor of a state will say, no, this House of Assembly member must not go. And he will use all the necessary arsenal within its disposal to make sure that he frustrates the most acceptable candidate. So that is the major problem we are facing.
The crisis rocking the political environment in Edo State has seen the immediate past governor of the state and former chairman of the ruling All Progressive Congress, Adams Oshomole, locked in a fierce battle of wits and structure with the incumbent governor, Godwin Obaseki. The duo, who were former political allies, are now vicious political foes, with the godfather-godson relationship pushed aside because the godson has become disobedient and no longer takes instructions from the godfather.
I endured so much as a governor. As governor, I've not been able to even nominate somebody for a federal appointment. And meanwhile, federal appointments are made every day. I will sit down, you call me from the Senate, are you aware of this? I keep quiet. I cannot be governor and not be governor. I should be able to make decisions, and I've made decisions which, in my view, are in the best interest of Edo State.
I sold a bad product, but I'm telling you, any of us would have made that mistake. As they say, a green snake, other green snake. Now the summer has come, the green is getting brown, and we can now see the snake.
The activities of these political fighters has deprived the people of voting for their ideal applicant as their leader. This has directly affected the political arrangements and national economy of the nation and does not promote leadership on merit or based on popular demand. Godfathers operate like mafia, hiding under politics to perpetrate criminal acts with their private army of thugs, disrupting electoral processes, killing and prompting political instability. This scenario is inimical to good governance and political stability, which are predicted on the rule of law, due process, accountability and transparency in the management of the public business. Political patronage has robbed the citizens of the privilege of enjoying the dividends of democratic governance, in the sense that the would-be government becomes reluctant to initiate and implement policies that would advance the well-being of the generality of the citizens.
When political parties do not have clear ideologies, then how would political mentorship thrive? Because political mentorship is not a standalone. It is the ability to be able to transform the ideology that is tied to the political party to a political follower, such that it becomes its clear mindset in terms of political engagement and service that brings up mentorship. But where you don't have clear-cut political ideology from the many political parties that we have, the only thing that has become a permanent feature is in politics, there is no permanent enemy and permanent friend. In politics, it is the interest that matters.
While having a godfather in politics may not be wrong if it is used to get the best people into public offices, their selfish and destructive overbearing influence would continue to hamper dividends of democracy, because he who pays the piper dictates the tune.
It is not completely to say that you cannot strive politically without a godfather, but it is right to say that the involvement of some people in quote who call themselves godfather are creating so much problem in our political setting that until and when that word disappears from our political lexicon, it will take us a very, very long time to get leaders who will serve the people, and we can measure our growth and development, and we'll be proud as Nigerians.
Godfatherism is an impediment to Nigerian democracy. It is adversative to the freedom and welfare of the people. Therefore, the problem of godfatherism should not be preserved as a party affair, but should be treated with legal action by the government and the party stakeholders. The demand for a sustainable democracy in Nigeria is to expand both the political and socio-economic situation of the country through massive people participation in policy and decision-making processes. And this status quo can never be achieved in a system entrenched with godfatherism. That was quite insightful and on-point layout of expert perspectives on the issue of godfatherism in Nigeria. It is indeed an ideology which deprives the people of their fundamental human rights of not benefiting from the dividends of democracy, as it is rapidly converting politics from a civil engagement to an enterprise where only the money bags are beneficiaries. Now, what do the average Nigerian think about the issue of godfatherism? Do they perceive it as a normalcy, or do they see it as an anomaly that needs to be checkmated? Let's join Peggy Shandy on the streets to find out the perception on the issue.
It is becoming a very common practice in the Nigerian politics that godfathers make their sons. We're here to find out on the streets of Nigerians whether or not if the concept should be a principle that should be practiced in Nigerian politics. Do you believe in godfatherism?
No, I don't believe
Now, why is the godfatherism a problem?
Why it's a problem is if we have a godfatherism in Nigeria, there will not be infrastructure in this country. They cannot allow the governors to work. You cannot see anything work in this country. No development, nothing. This road, you cannot get in this road.
Who is a godfather?
Godfather, from example, they say their godfather is person will make them. Nobody can make any woman being except God. If you know, say you have your papers and everything. Like me, if I want to go to contest, I want to go and contest anything. I don't need any man. What thing I need is to make sure my document is okay, and people will vote for me. I don't need anybody to come and say, "Oh, I'm your godfather. You need to pay homage. If you are coming and give 10 million, 21 billion, no."
Okay, so how are we going to remove that godfatherism in this country? Are we going to kill them, or are we going to shoot them, or what do you want us to do?
No, we are not going to kill them. We need to tell them. We need to go and meet people. If you get people, like now, if I want to contest election, I will go back to my grassroots and meet my people and tell them, see what I want to do for them. If my people vote me, nobody can change it.
Godfatherism is not godly. It is anti-development. People should be given equal opportunity to emancipate, to develop, not somebody coming to buy everybody.
So now how are we going to... How are we going to remove the godfatherism away from Nigeria now? Are we going to shoot them? Are we going to catch them? How are we going to just take them out?
You see, there is need to catch the people that have stolen our money. There is still need to catch them and recover our money from them. When we have recovered, because for as long as they are still holding our money, they will still use it to corrupt the system. So we must make sure that we recover our money from them. Then equal opportunity for everybody. That's how there is no other way out. For as long as this money is with them, they will continue to corrupt the system.
So as long as they continue to have this money and you don't take the monies away from them, then they will continue to be godfathers?
They will continue to corrupt the system with the money. That is the truth and nothing but the truth.
And they will be called godfathers?
Of course. When one man plans senators, plans a House of Representative members, plans House of Assembly members, he calls the shot. He decides what happens everywhere.
So who is a godfather?
A godfather. in the Nigerian context today, in the political system, these corrupt politicians that have stolen our money and they are using our money to corrupt the political system, they are the godfathers.
Well, as a child of God, the Bible says you should not call anybody a father. That he only is the God, the Father, the Son, or the Holy Ghost. The issue of godfatherism in our generation now came, can I say, mostly as politics licensing. Most people say this man is my father, this and that. And the godfatherism is a very bad thing that I can say. Because once you have a father, if you are not a good candidate, but you have somebody that is in there, they will appoint you in that position. That is why corruption is bombarding our nation. And I pray that God Almighty will intervene. I don't agree with Godfather.
So how do you think we can curb it?
How we can curb it is to let the masses know that this is not right. They should stand on their right. Nobody should come and influence them because I have a godfather and the godfather will go there bribing people, giving money that give this my candidate. If you give him something, you are doing it for me. The masses should reject that. It's not the right thing to do.
I can look at it from many perspectives. If you are asking me, do I personally subscribe, endorse it? Or is it a real factor in our environment, political or whatever? I think you will be very myopic and ignorant if you say that there is no godfatherism, especially in Nigeria, in our political space, even in our economic space, and even our social lives. So definitely there is godfatherism.
Okay, so what do you think about it? Do you think it's okay, especially in a political system? Is it fine? Is it okay?
Godfatherism is broad space. Okay. Mentoring is godfatherism.
Exactly.
But there can also be criminality, immorality in godfatherism. Now, for example, you have political landlords who just bring in some other people to come and replace them, and then they collect political rent. That's why you find out that most of the governors, ex-governors, are in loggerhead with their successors.
Exactly.
Now you look at a very responsible and respectable man like Adams Oshiomhole, a man who came into the political space bringing in, promising a little bit of fresh air. A man who advocated one man, one vote. A man who had been supposedly in the vanguard of the workers, leading the vanguard for the workers. Now he became a political actor, a governor for 8 years. Now endorsing somebody else is good. But now if the fellow is not performing very well, let the people who have the one man, one vote do their job.
I don't subscribe for that at all, and I won't suggest it at all. And I don't encourage anybody that I know to be involved in that. All my life, what I always encourage is competence. You don't have to have anybody. You have to work hard, be confident in the field that you are. You don't need a godfather, and through struggle, through effort, you find out that you get to stand. Well, it's quite unfortunate, but because that is what is dominating the country. You understand? Godfatherism. If you don't have a godfather, no matter how competent you are, you just be stranded. I'm a programmer, and I can tell you that as many that must have seen my face, they know that with experience and competence, I've proved myself. But I don't have anybody to stand, maybe in the government, or do one thing or the other to be recognized. You understand? Somebody standing between me and maybe the government. I get to do a job, and then he get to present because he has a godfather. What I have is competence.
Okay, so are you saying that most of the time the godfathers use incompetence most of the time? Is that what you're saying?
Most of the time they just use the people that they feel will agree to whatever manipulation they have. You understand? So I wouldn't say they use people that are incompetent, but most of the time they don't consider competence. They just consider people that will work for them. They consider their ally, people that will work to meet up their plans.
Do you think that Godfatherism, the system and the concept of the Godfatherism in the first place, is it anti-development or it is development?
Anti-development. Completely anti-development. I can assure you that when you look around, you find so many youth. These are competent guys. They don't have godfather. They are from nowhere. Most of the time, people that have godfather are people they call the elite, or people that have a name in the society.
So how do we get this out?
We have to strategize. We have to have a concept, a constitution that stands against that. We have to work based on competence. Whatever we have to do, we have to uphold competence by all means. Forget issue of godfatherism. Once somebody comes and he's competent, it doesn't matter where he comes from. Godfatherism has actually scrapped out competence, you understand?
All right.
That is why when you look around, you see things messing up in this country. You understand? I just lack much to express how I feel within me.
The concept of godfatherism in Nigeria is not good for our development. Yeah. And because they are always acquiring wealth to themselves. Wealth for themselves, and also bringing a mix. Today you say this man is good, tomorrow saying this man is not good. It's crazy.
So the wealth that was supposed to do what?
The wealth that's supposed to be, used for development of a nation, they are acquiring it for themselves.
What kind of development of the nation are we talking about?
Fixing of road, building schools, bringing in technologies and all of that. There are many more. That is really been a mess since 1960.
So how can you describe who a godfather is in one sentence? Who is a godfather? Is it that a godfather is a thief, or a godfather is a devil, or a godfather is not? They should remove that God out. How do you describe godfather in one sentence?
A godfather is somebody that puts you in a job and expecting a feedback from you. I don't know if you get that right.
Yeah, so according to you now, how do you think you can summarize a godfather in this country in your own words and the way you feel that godfathers are?
Godfathers are businessmen.
These are the reactions of Nigerians vehemently expressing their dissatisfaction on the concept of Godfatherism.
Quite interesting, and from the response one can easily deduce that the general disposition is unfavorable to the phenomenon of Godfatherism in the political settings in Nigeria. But is there a better alternative to Godfatherism? We'll go on a quick break, and when we return, we will take a look at mentorship as an alternative to Godfatherism. Join us again.
Throughout the nation, nobody will fight, nothing will happen. We work so.
We can do anything. We are ready to die for our right.
Don't fight, don't do anything. Just go and watch, stay and wait for the results.
Cut a slice of the north-central Nigeria with its raw mix of cultures, treasures, and amazing people. Bask in the vibrant glory of the beauty of nature with striking landscapes. Harness the best from agriculture, commerce and entrepreneurship. Put in a mix of local politics and governance from a resourceful people with amazing lifestyles, and you are right in the center of the northern Nigeria. North Central Journal, a compendium of people, places, news and views, all in an amazing mix that bears it all. Only on Television Nigerian. Thanks for staying tuned. The program is Democracy Now! It is evidence that what has been missing among a few other factors in the Nigerian equation is effective monitoring, especially in preparation for public service and roles. Effective mentorship affects and influences the processes and outcome of leadership, including succession. Now, mentoring produces leaders that ensures continuity and maintain the culture and values of the institution, because such leaders have not only been taught but also been groomed and nurtured. While Godfatherism is exploitative, destructive, and self-serving in the long run, mentoring is a power-free relationship based on mutual respect and value for both the mentor and the mentee, and is earned by reputation and integrity of purpose. Now, I have on standby a politician and a former presidential aspirant in the 2019 general elections, Asiwaju Moshood Shitu, who is on standby to give us his insight on mentorship and Godfatherism. You're welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
In Nigeria politics, political parties are built around individuals rather than on ideals. Now, do you see this affecting positively mentorship, or is it a big challenge to mentorship in Nigeria?
Yes, thank you very much. Politics, especially in Nigeria, everybody can understand how far we have gone in Nigeria politics. But presently, in Nigeria, we have been experiencing, as we have mentioned, Godfatherism. Godfatherism, we like it or not, it will continue to exist. Mentorship, the other side also, will continue to exist. What is the secret behind Godfatherism? When you watch very well, it's just selfish leaders that is just about them, but not about the nation. And the other way around, you talk of the mentors. Mentors are there to make, especially the younger ones that are just coming up, to identify maybe their talents, their skills, and other way to support the development of the nation. It is two things now, talking of Godsfatherism and the mentorship. So the people there who belongs to the Godsfatherism class, they are trying to expand, and the people that belong to mentorship are also trying to grow. So the part we belong to in the society, we support the mentorship angle, yeah.
Thank you very much, sir. Now, political parties in Nigeria, do you see ideologies reflect in their modes of operation enough for it to fuel or enough for it to support mentorship in the political system?
Yeah, well, when you are talking of political party, before you become political party, usually you belong to an association. Later you grow and registered as a political party. Like I said earlier, it's unfortunate where we are today. So what I'm saying about leaders that are coming together, you see some political parties really, even some existing one now that were left, go and check, go and see their manifesto. You will see that the future is in danger. You will not find anything there. The parties with even the real ideology were most of these parties. Because we are growing, we are coming with new ideas. We are growing, we are coming with new ideas. But this, even the old ones, if you go and see their manifesto and see the manifesto of the new parties coming up, you know that there's a problem. Because of Godsfatherism, you see, like you said earlier, especially most of them are these people that are buoyant enough. Any amount they can use to turn over things around. But no problem, as I said, we continue moving, we will not stop. It's about our country, if we like it or not. We cannot sit down or be reading newspapers and be criticizing. We belong to the mentorship side, as we said. We have leaders also that are our own mentors, that we respect them, we believe in them, that that makes us have hope in the future of this nation. And the Godsfatherism, we are working towards them also, that yes, we are going to defeat them. At the end of, the journey have started, and people have started seeing it in some states. We have some Godsfatherism already saying that there is problem. It's better they come down and join mentorship.
Thank you so very much for your explanations. Now let me ask this question. How can money bag politics be eliminated in Nigerian democracy?
Money influence in Nigerian politics, as I said, we can't stop it because it's a gradual process, and I know we are going to reach the time. Look at the last election, we used the card reader. We are going to get to even the time that everybody will go from his house and vote electronically, that you just, maybe even inside your house. It is a gradual process. We continue to campaign on an enabling environment for our people, where people can be engaged so that they can be doing one or two things, so that all these things will reduce in the society.
Thank you so very much for doing justice to these questions now, but I must ask, how do one discover a mentor in the whole lot of politicians that we have actively in the Nigerian political arena?
Yeah, when you are talking of mentoring, people discover mentors most of the time on their own. You know, when you talk of mentors, when you have something, it's only what you don't have, you can't give. So when you are talking of mentors, even by the time I sit with you one or two times, when we share ideas, you can discover that maybe I'm a mentor to you. From there you share with other friends, or maybe you hear one of my radio program or TV program that you know that, or maybe in my place of work, how do I do with my staffs and other things? How do I relate with them? How do I grow my business? And other things I do, what are my achievements so far? You have different ways of assessing who is a mentor. And even from place of work, as I'm saying, you can say this is a mentor and this is a godfather. So when you are talking of politics, No matter as a politician, you have your social lives you have been living. So out of that social life, people can pick from you that is either you are a mentor or you are a godfather.
Thanks so much for your contribution on this program. Thanks for coming to Democracy Now!
Thank you very much.
That was Asiwaju Moshood Situ speaking about mentorship and just how one can identify a mentor and tap from the positive energy rather than groveling before a godfather. Now the pertinent question to aspiring leaders is, who is your political mentor in Nigeria today? Whose ideology will you subscribe to among the key players in the political arena? And if you are a leader, how many young people are you mentoring for a possible leadership position in the nearest future? It is never too late for you to start if you don't have any. You can start now to mentor and be mentored for the survival of the future of Nigeria's democracy. And that's the much we have on this episode of Democracy Now! See you again soon. Thanks for watching.